It's such a, and she was.
That's all too.
She went out as a devil. And put these. The next day she went to school, she stuck in school. When she took it off and away from me. Should Franklin stay? Should Franklin get a costume? This is a big question.
That's the scary part.
Yeah, then she was.
Yeah. Reaction, whatever the material was, or just was it just pulled the skin up the way
It just
that much of a
pulled-
suction?
That's
Like a
all it
vacuum?
holds it there. I said it just, you know, suited her.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's what
And,
we used to wear. But again, it's, when it's daylight, it just doesn't scare you.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, I know.
Fortunately, it gets dark at 5 o'clock.
I was gonna say it does. It's quicker now.
That's cool. I always hated it when there's a
on
good
my
daylight
desk.
savings time in a week after
Yeah,
Thanksgiving.
right.
Whose dumb move was that?
Oh, but
Yeah, my,
Black plaid shirts here down. there.
would be, they'll go to daylight savings time and
Yeah,
that.
that's what- yeah,
No.
3 out of 5.
Normal.
Marking that through.
Keep working on that.
I left my reading glasses here last time and
You haven't been able to read anything for a whole month? then?
Yeah, I
How's that
mean,
work? Is that just-
I gotta talk to Croswell on that one.
How'd you enjoy your vacation time?
So much for billable time.
Oh, he was just reading more slowly.
That's right, that's right.
but in my office, I'm able to get away with it because I can enlarge things on my computer screen.
Letting the saves blow it up is only so
That's
much.
what I do, even with the glass.
So Rolly.
Dan, well, because it's contract stuff.
Wonders of these things.
Get bigger, but it's part of the reason why you need the glasses actually watch, focus on that screen so much, it just taps you.
Every one of these things I get does more and works better than
Not
the
even
previous
playing.
one.
Yeah, really.
Nobody
Not
can
even
improve it.
playing.
I think it's one of us ones done that on memory.
Wow, yeah, that's right, that's right.
Jason. Nathan is, anybody on Zoom?
Just Cindy and Dennis.
Okay.
I don't know. So they're on Zoom. Cindy's on Zoom tonight. Hi, Cindy.
At this time, I'll call the November meeting of the East Hempfield Township Zoning Hearing Board to order. Members of the board who are present this evening, Mr. Hanson, Mr. Luce, Mr. Kyle, Mr. Bingham, of course, myself. Also, we have with us tonight our solicitor, Jason Hess, our zoning officer, Nathan Sturgis, and we have with us also a court reporter taking the minutes. We have scheduled this evening one new case and one old case. This board will hear the case in an informal manner without strict compliance with rules of procedure used in a court trial. We ask the applicant and any individuals interested in this case to step in front of the table and explain the circumstances involved in their application. The applicant may present their case themselves or through their attorneys or other representatives. My fellow board members and I, as well as our solicitor, may ask the applicant questions from time to time during the applicant's presentation or at its conclusion. All persons having an interest in the application will be given the opportunity to ask questions of the applicant, offer evidence of their own, and inform the board of their position on the matter. In the interest of a prompt and orderly disposition of the case, we will ask interested people to refrain from speaking until the applicant's presentation has been completed and the board has had the opportunity to question the applicant. At the beginning of the case, people who are interested in the case should decide whether they desire to be parties to it. By being given the status of a party, that person will be entitled to receive notice of the decision in that case and will be entitled to participate in any subsequent appeal or rehearing. Individuals who are not given party status may nevertheless ask questions and present evidence, but will not receive notice of the decision and will not automatically be entitled to participate in any appeal or subsequent rehearing. If you desire to be a party to this case, we will ask you to sign an entry of appearance form at the appropriate time. And although the case will Although each party will receive a written copy of the decision, in this case, the mechanics of typing and signing the decision will take approximately 4 weeks. We ask that each person who asks a question or makes a statement first state his or her name and address for the court reporter. Now, lastly, in the interest of time, I'll administer the oath and affirmation to all applicants and to everyone and anyone who anticipates making any statement with respect to the hearing this evening. So at this time, will you all rise, please? Under penalties of perjury, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you will give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? If so, please say I do. Thank you. Stay standing. We'll salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Just for the record, and everybody put on notice, not only are we in person this evening, but also we are continuing to be on Zoom. Gentlemen, you received, all right, paddle, copies of the October 18th, 2021 board minutes. If there are no additions, deletions, or corrections to the board minutes, I listen to a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I noticed a few things that should be corrected on
Okay.
here. In the case number 2440, in the conditions, the second condition, business hours of operation are limited to 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. It should be 8 p.m. That originally she had said she would be okay with 7 p.m., but then through additional discussion, she said she'd like to be able to schedule an appointment at 7 p.m. and close at 8 p.m. And that's what was in, that's what's in the decision, and I believe it should be 8 p.m.
Correction.
Well, is that the only one?
In the second one, there's also two conditions that should be, that there are two additional conditions in addition to the standard conditions that that were part of the motion. And those were the first two conditions from the decision in case number 2406, when Schreiber originally requested these variances. And Mr. Hanson, he made the motion, I think initially said standard conditions, but then noticed the conditions from the earlier decision and added those.
That's correct. Missed it.
Me too.
Mr. Hanson.
Under old business case number, it's listed as case 2440. That should actually be case number 2438.
Old business.
Under old business.
Okay, gentlemen, you have heard comments from our solicitor and Mr. Hanson on 3 potential changes to the board's minutes. Old business 2440 should be 2438. Down under case number 2440, actual 2440. Number 2 on the conditions should be 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. And then under case 2441, the 2 additional conditions that were part of the original decision, case number 2406, should be spelled out in the minutes since it was specifically mentioned. Do you understand the changes, gentlemen?
Yes.
Then can I have a motion for the gentlemen, I just saw another one.
Yeah.
Up at the top, it says East Hempfield Township Zoning Hearing Board Minutes, July 19th, 2021. I got to get reading glasses at home.
Mine says October.
The one that he just sent out, the last one of that.
The last one that he sent it.
This is the one sitting in front of us.
What's this one then?
That was the one that was sent out.
But even the one he sent out actually has October 18th.
Yeah, it does. I don't know why the electronic copy. So disregard the last thing I said about the date.
No, my electronic one was October.
It's because the minutes,
There was some confusion. though. He sent it twice.
the written minutes say October 18th. Okay, gentlemen, there's the three changes that I spelled out. Can I have a motion to approve the October 18th, 2021 board minutes with the corrections so stated?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Bingham. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Luce. Discussions, gentlemen? Seeing that, Mr. Hanson,
In favor.
Mr. Luce,
In favor?
Mr. Kyle,
In favor.
and Mr. Bingham.
In favor.
And I'll also vote in favor. The board minutes of October 18th, 2021 are approved with the changes as stated. Why that's not why? I don't know either. Okay, gentlemen. Old business. Nate.
Yeah, case number 2438 Stone Real Estate Investments LLC, 143 Stony Battery Road.
Okay, gentlemen, you have, I think in front of you, if not, it was sent to you. A request by Stone Real Estate Investments. Their attorney, John Mediak, requesting that stating that they would like to withdraw their request that was in front of us and had been continued twice. So could I have a motion to accept the request of legal counsel for Stone Real Estate Investments to withdraw request number 2438 from our agenda in consideration?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Kyle, second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Bingham. Any discussion?
Yes.
Mr. Hanson.
Mr. Sturgis, the applicant is aware that they will no longer be able to substitute one non-conforming use for another because the property will now be considered abandoned because it's been a year, correct? They are aware
That's
of that?
correct. They are talking to me about continuing to use it as a meeting house or a church. Not changing anything.
Is this a
But
coffee?
Well, no, I understand what you're saying. Yes.
because what the last use of the non-conforming use has been over a year now. Would have been November of 2020 when they abandoned that use. So now it's considered abandoned.
I understand. Yes.
Okay.
I'll make sure that's clear with them.
Any other discussion? Seeing none. Mr. Hanson,
In favor.
Mr. Luce,
In favor?
Mr. Kyle,
In favor.
Mr. Bingham,
In favor.
and I also vote in favor. The request in case number 2438 to accept their withdrawal and our consideration has been granted. Nate, please notify them that it's officially off, from our consideration.
I will let them know.
Appreciate that. Any other old business?
No, sir.
Then I forgot to state, for the cases, the case this evening, was it properly advertised and posted in accordance with the Sunshine Law and the MPC?
Yes, it was.
Okay, just want to make sure that's on the record. With that,
Case number 2442, Christelle Killian, 2890 Mitchner Drive, seeking a special exception for a home-based business with impact.
okay, is Christella Killian here or her representative? Okay, is it?
You have microphones?
Yeah, no, we don't have the microphone out. Actually, we do want to hear from you. It's nothing personal.
Not only that, we want it to be recorded.
control it? I don't know. I just brought like the. Oh, okay, I see.
Okay, is there anyone in the audience and or on Zoom that would like to be party to this case? No one in the audience, and no one on Zoom. So with that, Ms. Killian, would you like to present your case to the board, please?
Yes, I have been doing I have owned a hair salon on Fruitville Pike for about 20 years. Unfortunately, we were notified our building was sold. It's just me and another partner last month, which doesn't give us very much time to figure else where to go and what to do. I am a single mom. I do have 3 children. And I'm looking to put my business into my home. I think I have the right accommodations for it. Like I said, I've been doing this for 20 years. I have an established base clientele, which is by appointment only, usually only one client at a time. And that's what I'm looking to do.
Okay, questions, Mr. Hanson?
Couple of questions. The information that you submitted in your application doesn't show where the salon's gonna go.
Yes, I didn't know quite how this was gonna work. So if we go to that white page that you were holding up.
Nate.
Yep.
my hair.
That's the one you wanted, or you want a different one?
We can use this one and then we can go to the other one. So technically this is the front of, this is my driveway right here. And then here's my front door right here. And then right over here, this area, which is approximately 300 square feet, would be for the salon area. It has a back door for the salon, which I will have eventually like a patio, like a some sort of pavement for them to come to walk into, and that's my existing patio. So that'll kind of be sectioned off from the rest of the house. So the other white picture, probably you can see it better with the measurements.
Takes it just a moment to load up.
It would be very separate from my house. I have barnyard doors to kind of section it off. So this is the room right here.
Okay.
So here's my garage. Here's my front door. So the client, here's the street per se. Then the clients would come in and then enter right around here. And then this is the room I would be using.
Where would you
One
be putting the
second.
doors at?
Okay, go ahead.
You said you're putting barn doors in?
Yeah, so the house is pretty interesting. So there's like an opening here. And then there's also an opening here to my kitchen. So I'm going to be doing barnyard doors to close that off and be able to lock it
Okay.
from my house, from the inside.
The other issue is you had mentioned something about on-street parking for your clients. It's really not permitted. They would have to park. Do you have room in the driveway to park
Yeah. Mhm.
2 cars, yours
Yeah.
and somebody else's?
Yep. Yeah, I have plenty of room in the driveway.
Okay. And your hours would be 9 AM to 8 PM Monday through Saturday?
Correct. Not every day. I mean, like I said, it just kind of depends. Every week is different on what my clients need. Right now, I work 2 to 3 days a week, and then Saturday. But all those days kind of change, but it's never past 8 PM. Like I said, I have 3 kids, so.
And you said something about putting a sign out front?
I mean, yeah, if I wouldn't need a sign, I didn't know if I had to.
You could be permitted up to 6 square feet,
2.25, I believe.
2.25 by small sign would be allowed. You don't need anything bigger than that, do you?
No, I don't even honestly need a sign. I didn't know if that was going to be required for me. I'd be more than happy if it was required, a necessity to run a business in home. I would be able to do the signage.
And you would be, if we were to approve this with conditions, one of the conditions I would like to put on would, it'd be strictly limited to yourself as the only employee. You're okay with
Absolutely.
that?
Yep.
And of course, you're licensed by the state, correct?
Absolutely, yeah.
And you would have no problem submitting a copy of your license to this township every time it renews. Okay, thank you.
Additional questions, Mr. Lewis?
No, you just, yeah, quick, you had said that right now you have a partner where you were. They will not be joining you at all. It's just
No,
you.
he's much older than I am. I've known him since I was 18 years old, so he's moving on to do something different. This has just been a shovel for both of us, so it's, yeah,
Okay.
he's moving on. Yep, to something different.
Any other questions? Mr. Hanson had already asked, excuse me, questions. But just to make it clear, because at a home-based business impact, it does say 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., but you're stating that you want it from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m.?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's one. Two is Mr. Lewis asked a question, or I think Mr. Hanson, excuse me, asked a question. You are licensed by the state.
Yes, for 20 years. Yeah.
Does the state license require any signage?
I will have them come in and inspect. They have to inspect, as well as I have to get a new name and new licensing for the shop. So they will come in. I don't know if they're going to require that or not.
Okay.
If so, I believe it would be minimal.
It may be minimal, but just so that you know, and Mr. Hanson was speaking about that, sometimes state requirements and our local requirements don't always coincide. So if their requirements are different than ours, then you're going to have to talk with, Nate, and potentially be back in front of us for.
I'm almost 100. I went over the state requirements. I wanted to get this approval done for, hopefully done first before I pursue with that. So I did go over all of the requirements of them, and I didn't see any that would be conflicting with yours.
Okay.
At all.
Okay. And the other question I had, again, Mr. Hanson had brought it up about the on-street parking, and the ordinance doesn't allow it. I would also like to follow up and say that, you make sure that your clients know, since you did state you'd only have one at a time, that they do park off-street. Now, I understand if you have company that comes in, they may park on the street, but the ordinance is very specific to say, as a home business, they're to be off. Appreciate that. Anything else, gentlemen? Mr. Brigham?
Question for Nate, I guess. Are there going to be any plumbing or electrical changes inside the house?
Yeah, me and Nate had talked about that.
Okay, so
Um,
you're going to work with the.
Yeah, we
permit
talked
and
about any
inspection
permitting
and-
requirements that she would need to,
Good.
I think she wanted a sink in the room and.
The building code officer would take care of that, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Jason, any questions?
No, sir.
Nate, do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Anyone in the audience or on Zoom have any questions for the applicant?
No, sir.
Seeing none, anything else, gentlemen? Seeing nothing here, is there anything else, Mr. Killian, that you'd like to add? Okay, thank you. Okay, gentlemen, at this time, we will conclude testimony in case number 2442. There are no exhibits made part of the record except for the written application. There's no administrative notice on this property. So at this time, I will listen to a motion in case number 2442.
Mr. Chairman, case number 2442, the request of Christella Killian with property located at 2890 Mitchner Drive, Lancaster, PA 17601. I make a motion to grant a request of special exception to section 270-3.5 D6 to allow for an in-home business with impact with the following conditions. 1, hours will be as testified 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Saturday. 2, if a sign is required by the state, it cannot exceed the township's sign size requirements. 3, excuse me, limited to 1 employee, yourself. 4, our standard conditions. And 5, as her license renews, a copy must be submitted to the township when you renew your license every time. I think it's good for 2 years, something like that, every 2 years.
Okay, motion. I'll get that. Motion by Mr. Hanson in case number 2442 to grant a special exception in the request of Christella Killian at 2890 Missioner Drive, Lancaster 17601, to allow for a special exception, section 270-3.5.D.6 to allow for an in-home business with impact. With the following conditions. 1, hours for the operation of the business will be from between the hours of 9 a.m. and 8 p.m. Monday through Saturday. 2, sign, if a sign is placed on the property and there's a requirement by the state, sign shall comply with the township ordinance. 3, no employees other than Ms. Killian. 4, standard condition board places in all decisions. 5, when the license renewal is complete, a copy must be submitted to the township at each time.
And her initial, before she has to submit your current license.
Okay, that was one of the things I was going to say. 6, that before operation begins at the property, a copy of her existing license shall be submitted to the township. Do I have a second, gentlemen?
Second.
Second by Mr. Bingham. Any discussion, gentlemen?
Should we include in there the not having any on-street parking
For the clients?
for the clients?
I was going to bring it up, but I would ask that it be specified there.
Sure.
Okay, then that's 7 would be no client parking on the street. All parking by clients shall be off street on property. Okay, is that okay? Anything else, gentlemen? Just one discussion, Mr. Hanson, on the sign, and I raised it in the testimony. I know you have stated in the motion as a condition that if there's a quote unquote conflict between the state and the township, that she have to comply with the township's ordinance. I'm not sure, and I'll look at legal counsel, whether our ordinance can supersede a state regulation on that.
If there's a state regulation to that effect, I'd probably have to look at the regulations to see if they have a preemption clause. But I mean, ordinarily, yes, state regs will preempt.
So could I ask for you to consider that, changing that to say that if the state has a requirement for the sign, that the applicant will do, will work with the township so that the state's requirements will be, if the state requirements differ from the township's requirements, that the township will work with the applicant in order to have the sign as close to the township's requirements as possible.
Sure.
Don't ask me to repeat that. That's your job. Okay, anything else?
I want to see that writing though.
So gentlemen, we have in front of us a motion by Mr. Hanson to grant the special exception in case number 2442 with 7 conditions as were stated. With that, Mr. Hanson,
In favor.
Mr. Lewis,
In favor?
Mr. Carl,
In favor.
Mr. Bingham,
In favor.
and I will also vote in favor. Ms. Killian, your request in case number 2442 has been granted with those conditions. Have any questions? Speak with Mr. Sturgis. Okay, thank you. Nate, anything else?
No, sir.
What about next month?
I haven't heard anything yet.
When is the deadline?
This Friday.
What are you thinking?
When are you
Yes,
going,
no,
are you
maybe.
going on vacation tomorrow or through Friday?
Don't answer your phone.
I'm here all week. I haven't heard anything. No people asking questions about it. So
Okay, not that we don't want to see you,
Yeah.
but.
it's a holidays
know.
coming up.
Yep. Yeah. So, anything else tonight?
No, sir.
Okay. With that, to anybody on Zoom, everybody here, wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Don't eat too much. Please enjoy. And if we don't meet next month, if we do, I'll say it again, wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
Same to you, sir. Thank you.
Yep. So with that, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Cheryl, thanks. No,
Quite.
it's getting there.
What was the shortest?
I think it was like 10 minutes.
Yeah. Of course, we didn't have any cases.
Oh, that's true. Okay.
Show up, yeah, one case and then show up.
They withdrew
They
it.
withdrew it.